to Hope and Happiness. My name is Monica Nagpal and I work with women and children to enable them to tap into their inherent potential to become exemplary and thus lead a meaningful and fulfilled life. And I believe that together we can heal the hearts with hope and happiness. This year of 2020 has taught us many lessons and has also helped us to understand our priorities in life. And we have understood that health is the one thing which should be given the first priority. So as we embark in this new year, let us learn from our experts to become health wise. And today we will be talking about mental health. So I welcome Dr. Ritu Nanda. Welcome Ritu ji.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you.
So I will give a brief introduction of Dr. Ritu. Dr. Ritu is a clinical psychologist. She is a psychotherapist and a counselor. And she is a certified clinical hypnotherapist and trainer from California Hypnosis Institute. She is a life member of Indian Society for Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis. She is also an NLP practitioner and a success coach. So I would like you to share something about yourself.
Okay. First of all, I thank you, Monica, for inviting me for this talk on a very, very important topic, mental health. And I wish hope and happiness, lot of success in their future endeavors also. So I would like to share a small part of my life's journey. I did my post-graduation long back, and then after a gap of 20 long years, I took up my studies again, and then I completed my MPhil in clinical psychology, and then went up to do my PhD with regular college, not online course. And then this was a very journey for me. It was an awesome journey and required a lot of grit and determination and commitment and hard work. But then after that, I became a practicing psychologist and there was no looking back. And this field of hypnotherapy has given me a lot of scope to, transform people and make lasting changes in them. So this is how I have done a lot of work in this field. And I am a trainer also. I am into corporate training and individual counseling, attached to many prestigious institutions all around the country and abroad.
We are very fortunate to have you here. So I would this is especially for the women mental health we will be talking about. So right. I would like you to share something about what is mental health, like how do you talk about mental health?
So mental health, basically it is a state of well-being. Okay, so it is psychological, emotional and social well-being, and it determines to a large extent how we think, feel and act, and also cope with stresses in our everyday life, day-to-day stresses. So if we have a good mental health, naturally we'll be able to cope in a better fashion, and then also make the right choices in life, lead productive lives, effective lives, have good relationships, and contribute meaningfully to our society and to our community to which we belong. So it's very, very important at all aspects, all ages, to have a good mental health.
Yeah. So when we talk about mental health, sometimes we understand that it is all about brain, or say there is something else. What is mind and brain? Are they the same things, or mind and brain are different things? So just please share something regarding this.
Oh, this is a very interesting question. And so many people are confused regarding that. So what happens when we talk about mind and we ask you what is the structure of the mind, people confuse it with brain. And they start telling the structure of the brain. Basically, brain is an organ which we can see, and we can also operate. But mind is something abstract. But still all centers are in the brain, and brain operates through the mind. So we can say that it is something abstract, but still it has great role to play. And lot of research has been done on mind also. So that is the basic difference. Yeah, and
Right,
the
right.
structure is also different if we talk about the structure. Yeah.
Right, right. So we are today talking about mental health. It has nothing to do with brain, or do we talk about brain also? And also sometimes we talk about different kinds of mind, like subconscious mind. I've heard a lot of people talk about subconscious mind. So what is the difference between a mind and a subconscious mind?
So if we talk about the structure of the mind, which is also being assumed because it is an abstract thing, we have not, nobody has seen mind. So if we talk about the structure, if we think of mind as an iceberg, so only the tip of the iceberg is our conscious mind, which is our awareness. Like how we are sitting, you are sitting, I am sitting, we are sitting with our awareness. So this part of the mind is the reason logic mind. It is, it is involved into rational thinking. So all our judgment, decision making, problem solving, all these processes are from the conscious mind. Now, the rest of the mind, this is just 9% of the mind, and the rest of the mind, yeah, only 9 to 10%. And rest of the mind is our subconscious and the unconscious mind. So unconscious mind is that part of the iceberg which is submerged in water. Okay, so it is storing everything, all our conflicts, our repressed wishes and desires, and even past life memories. It is said that they are stored in the unconscious mind. But we cannot access the unconscious mind on our own. Through hypnotherapy, we can access it. So what we are more concerned is with the subconscious mind. Okay, so what is in the subconscious mind? Suppose we are attending to some stimuli. After some time, our attention shifts to something else. So that information will shift into the subconscious mind. So it is also called as available memory. With little effort, we can regain it. So what happens? A lot of information gets stored in the subconscious mind, and it forms it's like a library. It forms a blueprint, and this blueprint determines our behavior, our personality to a large extent. So now, if we want some changes in our personality, we need to change this blueprint. So this is the role of subconscious, and it is a storehouse of riches, and we can draw whatever we want from it. Whatever changes we want, we can bring in ourselves. Only thing, we should know how to access our subconscious mind. So that is the role of subconscious mind power. It's a great power.
It is a very powerful thing. That means that there's a lot of power in our subconscious mind, and we thought it is only the brain and the genius people who really are the most powerful. But actually, our subconscious mind is, I'm believing that it is the subconscious mind which has the more power. And as you rightly said, we can always try to bring about a change. Like if you want to change in our behavior, then the change in the subconscious mind will actually help us. So Dr. Ritu, please tell us how are we going to alter or change? What are the tools and means we can use to bring about a change or alter our subconscious mind so that we can bring about a change in our external behavior, which could be more effective?
Yes, it's a very good question, Monica. So I would like to throw light on this. Subconscious mind, one more quality of the subconscious mind is that it has got no reason or logic. It accepts everything, whatever you give to it. It has got no preferences. It is like a garden. Now, suppose we have a garden. Now, it is our wish whether we want to plant thorny bushes in that garden or we want to plant beautiful flowers. So, in the same way, it is up to us whether whatever we tell to ourselves. So, in this case, our self-talk becomes a reality. See, what people say to us is not in our control. But what we keep telling ourselves, I am this, I am that, and we start telling negative. So much negativity we have given to our subconscious. Limitations also. But these things are accepted by the mind, and we start functioning like that or thinking negative about ourselves. So we have the power to access our subconscious mind, and then we can reprogram it and remove that cemented negativity out of it, and then reprogram it with positive self-talk. So it is just very important to realize the importance of the words I am. So I am, and then there is a dash. So what you write after that dash or what you say to yourself, that becomes your reality. So it's very important because you mainly feel the way you think, and thoughts are translated into behaviors. And mind is made up of thoughts. In one day we have got 60,000 thoughts approximately. Yes, and out of those, about 80 to 90% are negative thoughts. So this ratio we have to change. So this we can do by mind programming and by thinking positive and giving more power to the positive thoughts. Thoughts are powerless; they don't have any energy of their own. Whichever thought we give power to, that gains momentum and that stays with us. So basically, yeah, this is what we can do. And in the meditative state, it becomes more effective. Because otherwise what happens? We all can change. We know we can change. And why we can change? Because this is a very open-ended question and there can be so many answers. But I think the best answer is that why we can change, because we are dynamic organizations open to change. As long as we are alive, we can change. Don't you think?
So we should have that willingness, no? That willingness should be there to change, actually.
Yes. Willingness and the realization, the awareness that we are alive. Right. So if we are alive, we can change.
Absolutely.
So this awareness is very important. And then we can, access our subconscious mind and bring that change in ourselves.
Right.
And it is difficult to change. That also is a reality. Why? Because the conscious mind is resistant to change.
Okay.
It makes a comfort zone and we start living in our comfort zones. Now, comfort zones are very good to rest. But if we start living, then we stagnate and there is no growth. So very important in the meditative state, what happens? The conscious mind goes into a trance. It sleeps. So the guard is not there. And then we can access the subconscious mind and start programming ourselves with positive suggestions and thoughts. And will bring lasting changes.
So if I can just say what you have said, we can reprogram our mind by auto suggestions. So there are auto suggestions that we can give some auto suggestions to our mind. Otherwise, our inner self-talk is just ruining us.
Yes.
We keep on saying negative things about ourselves. We keep on repeating what the other person would have said to us, and we keep repeating that negative thoughts in our mind, and that becomes the reality. We start to accept that illusionary thoughts as our own reality, and then the whole behavior changes because of those thoughts. Our emotions change because of that thought.
Yes, you have summarized it so well. See, these are our internal maps. So we make our internal maps due to certain people's suggestions or our self-talk, negative self-talk. So this internal map is not the reality.
Yes.
We have to realize that, and we can change that map.
Yes.
And make our own reality, our own wonderful reality, awesome reality. So we have to tell ourselves, I'm amazing, I'm wonderful, I'm excellent, I'm successful, I'm beautiful, and whatever you want to say. Sky is the limit. And just reprogram your mind. And I would like to also share that 2 times we get each day where our subconscious mind is very active. Once before sleeping. Just before sleeping, when physically we are very relaxed, but mind is still alert. So that time, this is a golden period. That time we all give auto suggestions, so they work very well. And once just after getting up.
Okay.
That time also is very effective time. Physically we are still relaxed, but mentally we have become alert. So just after getting up, we can give auto suggestions, positive suggestions. So they work wonders.
Very good, wonderful.
And I love myself.
Can you give some example? For example, if I want to get up early in the morning, so if I tell in the night that I want to get up at 4 o'clock, will the subconscious mind help me there without the alarm?
Of course, subconscious mind always says yes. You just to ask for it and you receive. It's like, it is saying tathastu. Always. Whatever you ask, it is going to give it to you. Right. So, but we should know how to ask in the right manner. So if we want to get up early and we tell ourselves, I cannot get up early. So the subconscious mind will say yes.
Oh.
So we have to say it in the positive sentence. We have to make it a positive and in the present tense.
Right.
The result, the present tense, what result you want, that way you have to program it. Yes. I don't want, we shouldn't be saying, I want to be happy, I want to get up early. So subconscious mind will say, keep wanting.
Oh.
It accepts everything literally. It is like a child. It will accept everything. So if we say, I want confidence, I want to be happy, I want to get up early, you keep wanting.
Okay. So
I'm capable of getting up early. I get up early. I get up early. So the present tense.
Okay, that is a very key thing that you have told, Dr. Ritu. This is very, very important because we always keep wanting things.
Yes.
I want to be courageous. I want to be bold. I want to be happy. We always keep wanting things, but we don't.
We keep wanting.
Yeah, we keep wanting them. It is an unlimited thing that we keep wanting.
Unlimited.
All the
So I'm already am. See, even if it is not there, you are not confident and you are not happy, then also we have to say it like this, because the concept is fake it until you make it.
Okay.
Even with children, like a child is not able to concentrate well, and how parents and teachers keep telling that child, your concentration is poor, your writing is not so good, you don't have a good memory. So that grows. Okay, so whatever behavior will get attention, that will grow. So that quality will grow, that negativity will grow. Because we are, concentrating, giving attention to the negative aspect of that child. So when, in spite of that child not having good concentration, we have to say, you concentrate very well. Your writing is good. You have a sharp memory. And then we see the results in a matter of 1 week, 10 days. You see the difference in that child. Because we start programming the mind with negative, comments. So
Right.
they really matter.
All the women there, we can just tell them you are the best.
Yes, you are beautiful, best, happy, successful, wonderful.
Best
all-
mother, I'm the best daughter, I'm the best wife.
yes.
So then you be just the past too. You are like
Yeah,
that.
what a task. It works like that.
Right. I just wanted to have one more clarity here that in the morning when you are saying that this is again a golden period and you get up in the morning. So what is that time? Like you have to be on the bed before when you make this comment, or you have to just.
So when you just open, suppose there is an emergency and you have to just rush and do your work of the daily routine, then it's okay. But otherwise, mostly we are not in such a rush. So as soon as you open your eyes and your awareness returns,
Okay.
you are conscious. Your conscious mind is awake. Because see, the subconscious never sleeps. It is always awake. So it listens to everything. But our conscious mind sleeps. So when conscious mind becomes aware, then we can give this positive programming.
Yeah.
That I'm this, I love myself, I'm wonderful. Whatever I planned for today, I will be executing everything. Today is a wonderful day for me. Whatever plans I have made, whatever things I have to do, everything will be completed successfully. I'm a winner. I'm a winner who achieves her goals like that.
This is like a remote. The subconscious like a remote in our hand, which we can just.
Oh, hello. What a wonderful thing you have said. One thing I want to add here. See, happiness is a concept from within. So what do we do? Usually we give the remote of our happiness to others or to certain situations. So get it back. This is my message to all women. Get the remote of your happiness in your hands.
Absolutely.
And you have to program yourself, keep my mind and body is a car and I'm the driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last, I think I would like to ask you that mental health has actually become a stigma. Like it is not become, it is like a stigma. So how do you, what is your advice to the women in regard of this? Like they should destigmatize this concept of mental health. They should seek out help from people around them. So please share something regarding this.
Yeah. So see, mental health is like physical health. Like we are so much concerned about your physical health. Something goes wrong, so we immediately go and visit a doctor because we don't want to be physically ill. In the same way, it's very important to be aware of your mental fitness or mental health. So if you are feeling that we are not mentally fit or we are having certain problems, that awareness should be there and that insight should be there, that go consult a psychologist or a psychiatrist as the need arises. So there should be no stigma attached. Because everything is very confidential, it is a very safe environment and there is a non-judgmental person who is going to listen to you and try to find out that cause from where that problem has come. Okay, because nobody is born with mental health issues. Here we are not talking about mental retardation, but only depression, anxiety, we are not born with that. We have never heard that a depressed child has been born. So over the years, these are learned behaviors. So when it is learned, it can be unlearned or relearned. So very important to take help, especially when it starts affecting your personal, social and occupational functioning. Then it's very important to take help, otherwise the severity will increase and then things will go out of hand. So be mentally fit and take help, and just remember that this too shall pass. Nothing is constant in life. So celebrate life and take care of yourself, enjoy, live life to the fullest. This is
wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Ritu. This was really, really wonderful, and I'm really hoping all the women out there who will be listening to this, they will be really feel so empowered because of the power of the subconscious mind which they have. This is like a tool they have to have a very hopeful and happy life. Thank you so much to come here. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Monica. Excellent. It is my pleasure. Thank you.